I've been on my own now for quite a few years. I've had a kind of long and, well, interesting life. From working the rails to the droving I'd done. And then the army. Boy, did I give 'em strife. Well, after the war, I went back to the land. You know, it was just like I'd never left. Jess and me, well, we loved that place, and we shared 40 years. It near broke me when I laid it to rest. Well, the kids, they grew up and they went off chasing their dreams. I told them I was okay, I'd be all right on my own. But way deep inside, I was empty and cried. I couldn't stand being alone.
I hear a sound I've heard before, the tiptoe of feet, the squeak of a door. She's home again, and it's 3:30. Don't know where she's been, but now she's...
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Rhonda Livingstone, and I'm a civil celebrant, and I have been given the honour of leading this farewell service, and on behalf of the family of Noel Maxwell Parkinson, fondly known to some of you as Parky, I thank you for coming to his service. And of course, we all wish that we were not here today to mourn the loss of someone so special. Each of you shared a close bond with Noel and held a special place in his heart. So let us keep his memory close, cherishing the moments that you have all shared and the love that will now continue to bind you all together. Our opening song was chosen by the family. Noel loved Australian country music, and it was his favourite song. Before we begin, just to ensure that we don't have interruptions today, if I could kindly ask everyone to ensure mobile phones are now switched to silent. Thank you. Noel was taken from us all far too soon, and it is clear that the man you have come to honour and to grieve has touched you all very deeply. We have 3 types of friends in life: friends for a reason, friends for a season, friends for a lifetime. And during Noel's 73 years, he has been a companion in the journey of you all, as one of those friends. I would now like to open our service with the following words. There are things that we don't want to happen but must accept. Things we don't want to know but must learn. People we can't live without but must let go. And of course, there are no words when we lose a loved one, and naturally we are left with a hole that no one can fill. And although today there is much sadness, Noel's memory will live on, guiding and blessing your lives. And in a world that sometimes feels overwhelmingly busy, it is in these quiet moments today with family and other loved ones that you can all remember and feel the true impact of Noel's life upon your own. And our hearts reach out now to Noel's family, his loving wife Tina, married for 53 years, and his children and their partners, Tina and Shane, Gavin and Carolyn, Laura and Phil, and Beck and Paul. Noel was also the much-loved son of Ivor and Mina, both deceased, fond brother of Helen, brother-in-law of Bill, Donna and Vicky, an affectionate uncle to his nieces and to his nephews. It is all Also important to remember the important role that he played as the adored pop to Josh, Nathan and Isabel, Baden, Ella and Angus, Hayley, Declan, Cody and Miley, and Lucas and Ethan. His caring ways will certainly be remembered by you all. And of course you will now find that memories are crowding in upon you, living memories that are tokens of a great gift, a life that has been shared with you all. And in times of sorrow, as in times of joy, we all feel a need to share. Shared laughter heightens our enjoyment. Shared sorrow makes our comfort more enduring. So today, let our collective sorrow and grief become a collective strength, enabling us to find closure and move on without the physical presence of our beloved Noel. And it is now with a deep sense of love that I invite you all to listen to a heartfelt, emotional poem dedicated to Noel. And this touching piece was beautifully written by his daughter, Tina Louise, capturing the bond, the memories, and the enduring love that will forever remain in her heart. So please now become as one with Noel as I share with you these special words. The poem is titled My Dad, My Outside, My Everything, and is listed in your order of service. My dad is my outside. Every memory, every adventure, every life lesson, outside. On the bikes around the orchard, outside. Swatting the flies off his back, outside. Riding the tractor guard through the fruit trees, outside. Picking the blood plums as a family, every Australia Day in scorching 40-degree heat, outside. Breakfast toast cooked over the fire drum, outside. Be it a hot summer's day or a cold winter's evening, sweating together or teeth chattering, freezing, all were always outside. Sitting under the flowering gum trees, talking about the things we've done, outside. Watching the sheep in the back paddock because that way there's no ads, outside. On a sunny day, I'll be outside. On a sad day, I'll open the curtains, feel the sunshine, or watch the rain. But every day, I'll always be with you outside. Thank you for the privilege of caring for you in your final days. The conversations we had are carved so painfully deep within my heart. But now, as I stand here today to say goodbye and lay you to rest, I think I'm realising that although all you wanted was to be at home, all you really needed was to be here, outside. We are all here together, always and forever, outside. We love you, Dad. I think Tina's words paint a vivid picture of Noel's spirit, his free soul, always happy beneath the open sky. So thank you so much, Tina, for that wonderful poem. And immediately now, our thoughts turn to Noel's character and his personality. What kind of man was he? A man whose presence touched us all in different ways. At 73 years young, he had a dry wit, good sense of humour, and as mentioned, an unwavering love for Australian country music. His passions ran deep, and as we've just heard in that poem, the outdoors and being outside was his sanctuary. Fishing, camping, rabbit shooting with his young family weren't just hobbies, they were the ways he shared his love, his laid-back spirit. His love for home and family was also unwavering. Devoted husband to Tina, beloved grandfather, steadfast family man whose heart was as big as the Australian outback. Noel was also an easygoing man, storyteller, and a knack for weaving tales that kept his family always entertained. However, I'm told by them that he did often voice complaints regarding traffic noise, politicians, and TV ads. He was also a hard worker, never one to sit still for very long. His years as an orchardist and beef farmer speak to his dedication and his work ethic, more of which will be shared with you by Gavin in his eulogy. Noel never really retired, always finding ways to keep busy. And let's not forget his loyal companion Maggie, who now feels the loss of her very best friend. And today, as we remember Noel, let's hold on to those stories of his laughter and his love, his spirit, laid back, hard-working, and always full of life. And that picture will always remain forever in our hearts. And of course, these are only just some of the things you will think about when you recall Noel's character. And to continue to paint our picture of him, I would now like to ask his son Gavin to please come forward, share with us his dad's life story and some of his fond memories. Thanks, Gavin. Thank you.
Dad was born on the 29th of April 1952. The soldier settled orchardists Ivor and Mina Parkinson. The younger brother to Helen was born in Shepparton as the Cobram Hospital staff were on strike at the time he arrived. They must have knew he was coming. Dad's early years were spent living on the family orchard and attending the Cobram Primary and Cobram High Schools. Dad always told the story of how disappointed he was when the primary school became the new high school and the long-anticipated change of schools didn't happen. He spent his entire school life in the same building. Dad's favourite subject at high school was woodwork, and he had a natural ability at furniture making, with a few of his wonderful pieces still around the home and in family members' homes today. The lure of full-time work, however, with his father and mother on the family orchard, saw him leave school after completing Year 10. In 1971, Dad met the love of his life, my mum Tina, when he and some mates attended a barn dance in Baruga. One short year later, the first of their four children arrived. Tina Louise came into the world in May 1972, perfectly timed so as not to interrupt the fruit picking season. The young family resided on Larissa Road at Yarrawea, nice and close to the orchard, so quick motorbike trips along the channel banks on his old Honda 90 motorbike to get to work were a breeze. I came along in September 1975, and again I was well timed before the start of the fruit season. The family relocated to Cobram Township in 1978, purchasing their first home. Laura arrived at the height of the fruit picking season in January 1981, giving Mum her first full season off from fruit picking. My younger sister Becky arrived in April 1983, completing the family. Dad took on even more work at the orchard, becoming a partner with his mother when his father Ivor passed away in October 1983. Vegetables in the form of pumpkins and peas were also grown some years between orchard rows to help supplement a sometimes volatile and unreliable fruit industry. In 1985, it was time for an upgrade to the family transport, and the old green Valiant Pacer made way for a brand new and fancy Mitsubishi Magna. I'm not sure what Dad was thinking there. Many weekends were spent at the orchard as us kids grew up, watering fruit trees, building teepees during the pruning months, and helping out with the Murray Grey cattle that Dad had started to farm on adjustment at Dave Wallace's property and alongside the fruit trees as land became available with a decrease in orchard varieties. Of course, as us kids became older, we also worked on the orchard outside of school times, doing tractor work, loading the truck, thinning the peaches, and of course picking fruit alongside Mum and Dad. Trips to the depot in the truck to deliver the fruit picked each day were always a highlight, especially when Dad got a clean sheet from the fruit inspector, which was quite regularly. The picking of the blood plums in particular became very much a family-based affair for many years, with the entire family often being involved. Whilst it didn't seem like much fun at the time, on reflection now it was some of the best family time we spent together. Another chore that provided many great memories was the numerous trips out the bush to cut firewood, always including a small fire over which to cook some toast for morning tea. Of course, all of that wood needed splitting, which was done almost daily with the old blockbuster and axe up until only a few weeks ago. I'm not sure why Dad didn't think about buying a hydraulic log splitter 30 or 40 years earlier. Probably would have been a good idea. Dad enjoyed many family holidays with us kids when they fitted in with the fruit season. There were numerous Queensland road trips to visit family, with many memories and places visited on the long drives up and back. And the many Merimbula and Lakes Entrance fishing trips were some of Dad's favourites. Of course, living in Cobram, Dad regularly spent a few hours on the river or fishing or craying with us kids. And he also enjoyed many weekends spent camping and hunting rabbits in the hills around Wodonga with our cousins the Larfield family. In 1983, Mum and Dad moved to their current home, just out of town on the Murray Valley Highway. Provided more peace and quiet, more room for chooks and veggies, and a nice, relaxed location where Dad was very content. Dad was overjoyed when the first of a dozen grandchildren arrived, and on the arrival of each one that came along afterwards. Dad, or Pop as they know him, was a first-class chef of all things toast on the outdoor fire. Pop loved telling his grandkids stories about how things used to be and the adventures of rural farm life, the favourite being the kangaroo hitchhiker. It was always a laugh when he told that story. He watched the grandkids at school plays and graduation ceremonies and attended their football and netball games to quietly cheer them on, just like he had done for us many years earlier. When SPC began downscaling their local fruit intakes, the majority of our orchard was pulled out and some spectacular bonfires took place. The cattle numbers increased, as did the properties that he and Mum owned to accommodate them all. Weekdays became less hectic and cold afternoons could be spent gathered around his favourite fire drum with his dog by his side. There was more time for fishing, often with his old school friend Noel, and there was more time for cuppers and pottering around the chooks and working in the extensive vegetable garden. Throughout his life, Dad was always more than willing to help out a friend or family member in any way that he could. Many here today would have had Dad give them a hand with something in some way, be it fencing a paddock, clearing a falling tree, moving house, shearing an alpaca, pruning a fruit tree, fixing a vehicle, or various other tasks. He was always the first to roll up his sleeves and help out. Dad's struggles to adapt to modern technology were also well known. So much so that as recently as only a couple of weeks ago, he kindly offered to help Uncle Bill with some mobile phone issues by bouncing it off a brick wall. Dad never owned a mobile phone and had zero intention of ever doing so. He always said if somebody wanted to speak to him, they could find him in the orchard or down the paddock. Whilst Dad did manage to learn how to use the electric toaster, he still much preferred cooking his toast over the coals of the fire. About the only technology that he truly mastered was the remote to the TV, but only because of the bloody ads. If there was a world championship for channel surfing to avoid watching ads, Dad would have at least made the podium on numerous occasions. Dad was a hard-working, quiet man who always had time for anyone. A great listener who never worried about filling the quiet times with unnecessary talk. He had a great memory and probably thinks we should be sharing many more of his stories, but he's also be thinking, get on with it, there's jobs to do. So let's get on with it.
Thank you so much, Gavin. It was wonderful to hear those stories of Dad's life, and it's not easy to stand up here in front of you all, and I know everyone appreciated that. And I would now like to extend the opportunity in case there's anyone else who may like to come forward and share a memory. Is there anyone who may like to do that? No, well, no doubt many more stories, as Gavin said, will be shared with you after the service. And as many of us know, death occurs in many ways. It may be sudden, expected, prolonged, accidental. And it reminds us that the slender thread that joins life with death can so quickly be broken. A chapter has now been completed, a page turned, and a life has been well lived. Noel is gone but will not be forgotten, not by his family, not by his friends, and certainly not by the countless people he touched throughout his lifetime. His life was a tapestry of moments, big and small, woven together through all of you. And in his honour, it's my privilege to share with you a heartfelt poem chosen by his wife Tina, titled Let Me Go. It is also listed in your order of service. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not for long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that once we shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all part of the master plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we know and bury your sorrows and do good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. So thank you, Tina, for choosing such a beautiful poem for Noel. Devoted husband and friend, sharing a bond that endured through 53 years, through all of life's ups and downs. And it is now important for all of you to think about, treasure the memories of Noel and be your own timekeeper. Heal in your own way and heal in your own time. And know that tears are not a sign of weakness. Falling apart is part of the natural healing and grieving process. And of course, let there be talk. Talk about Noel's life and talk about his death. The experience of grief is powerful, so do not suppress, avoid, or postpone grief's expression. Noel is now at peace, and in his honour I would like to present our final poem titled One at Rest. Think of me now as one at rest. For me, you should not weep. I have no pain, no troubled thoughts, for I am just asleep. The living, thinking me that was, is now forever still. And life goes on without me, as time forever will. If your heart is heavy now, because I've gone away, dwell not long upon it, friend, for none of us can stay. Those of you who liked me, I sincerely thank you all. And those of you who loved me, I thank you most of all. Today we have all come together to honour and reflect on the privilege of sharing our lives with Noel. His health took a sudden turn 5 weeks ago when he was diagnosed with cancer. And after spending some time at Wangaratta Hospital, he made the heartfelt decision to return home, choosing to spend his final days surrounded by his loved ones. Noel peacefully passed away at home on the 23rd of May, aged 73. The family are deeply grateful to the NCN Palliative Care team for their compassion, support and care throughout his illness. And for those who crossed Noel's path and became his friend or were lucky enough to be in his family. Always keep this proud man in your hearts. We are now returning him to nature and to his final resting place. Tenderly and reverently, we commit Noel's body to nature's keeping. Earth to earth, dust to dust, and ashes to ashes. Noel is now at rest, and no doubt his strength and force will continue to guide him. He is ready for the next part of his spiritual journey, and his legacy will continue to live on through the countless memories that you all have. His laughter, his tears, and of course, so much love. To close our service, we will listen to a song that reflects Noel's character, and hopefully when you hear it played at any time in the future, you will think about Noel and you will be able to smile. And whilst listening to this song, you will be invited to toss eucalyptus leaves into his grave and pay your final respects. Then when you are ready, you are invited to join the family at the Cobram Bowls Club and to continue sharing all your memories of Noel. And I know there will be many, many more stories to be told. And as we now bid farewell to Noel, let us carry forward his legacy: no fuss, simplicity, and love of life. Thank you all once again for your presence, your love, and your support here today for Noel's family. Thank you.
Hey, true blue, don't say you've gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoker, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, you're to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dying race. Hey, true blue, you can sing with me. True blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or will she be right? True blue, I'm asking you. My true blue, can you bear the load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show on the road? Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, the beef eating. Is your heart still there? If they sell us out like sponge cake, do you really care? Hey, true blue, here's where you really join in. True blue, is it me and you? Mom and Dad, walking to is standing by you, mate. It is standing by you, mate. When she's in a fight, oh, will she be right? True love, last chance I'm asking you. True love, is it me and you? Is it my